While boxing is an aggressive sport by nature, many times fighters only choose to offer great cries and little wool. So what does the trash talk have in fate for them? Do these boxers stand up to their names or get chickened out as soon as they see their opponents? In this video, we will show you some of the best moments when cocky boxers got destroyed and humbled by their opponents. Ryan Garcia versus Braulio Rodriguez. These two young bloods started messing with each other, even before the match began. Right from their weigh-ins, Rodriguez was looking for several ways to intimidate a young Garcia. But as soon as the match began, these moments of empty instigations became a point of laughter, as Garcia thrashed Rodriguez out of the boxing ring, thus winning the match. As soon as this face-off in Madison Square Garden began, Rodriguez was ever ready to threaten a young and inexperienced Garcia. But he was soon knocked down by a left-hook right-hand combination, right in the opening round itself. During the second round, Rodriguez tried to play around the crowd a little bit by shaking hands and feet off each of Garcia's punches. But soon, he was knocked out by an extended left-hand punch and a blowout with two big rights from the debutant Garcia. A final left uppercut was enough to thrash Rodriguez onto the ring apron. During the post-match interview, Garcia stated that he noticed right away from the weigh-ins how Rodriguez pushed him and tried to intimidate him. But Ryan made sure that he let Rodriguez know that this isn't what he came for, and that is not what's going to happen. In this way, by keeping his composure, Garcia defeated Rodriguez, who had already lost 2 straight and was mostly inactive for the past 2 years. Thus, he was left crumbling in clown crowd moments. Anthony Hambrick versus Brooke T. Word. This 1990 face-off between Anthony Hambrick and Brooke T. Word is the perfect example of why one should always be careful of the thin line between confidence and overconfidence. The two champs faced each other at Fort Bragg in North Carolina when Hambrick was already a proud member of the 1988 Olympics team in South Korea. The two were fighting for a vacant U.S. Boxing Association title, which was quite a significant stepping stone towards the World Championship for both of them. Hambrick had performed a series of choreographed moves along with his team before the fight. He continued dancing while showcasing his confidence, even after the two shook hands. Maybe he could have saved some energy for later, but he decided to put on a show. After the match began, Hambrick got off to a good start, but then he was immediately sent back to the canvas after receiving a left hook by Word. When the referee asked if he could continue the match, he replied that he felt like a champ. A hurt Hambrick got back up to continue. Here, Word had already taken the lead and continued assaulting Hambrick like a meat, until he sent him to the canvas for the second time. Hambrick refused to give up and again chose to continue fighting and had a little rough chat with the referee, who advised him to give up. Amidst this chaos, Word landed his final wild right-hand knock, which was enough to defeat Hambrick like a pro. Frank Sanchez versus Julian Fernandez. Playing on the undercard of the infamous Canelo Alvarez versus Callum Smith main fight in Texas, Julian Fernandez was defeated in a rather embarrassing approach by the Cuban superstar, Frank Sanchez. This December 2020 face-off was enough to prove that Julian Fernandez is nothing but big talks and a no-show. Fernandez teased his opponent throughout the fight, even before inviting him, but instead got punched right in the face with 2 big right hands. Sanchez landed 2 more swings that sent Fernandez stumbling backwards out of the boxing ring. Frank Sanchez attempted a deadly TKO that could have ended in a disaster. But it showed Fernandez who the real king of the ring was instead, in front of a limited crowd in Alamodome in San Antonio, Texas. Right after receiving the last punch, Fernandez dramatically fell out through the ropes and couldn't stop until he took an ugly fall. We must say, Fernandez was fortunate that there was a platform right outside of the ring, otherwise he would have crashed down to the floor below. In this way, Frank Sanchez notched his very dramatic and important 13th career knockout. Quite dramatically, isn't it? Edison Miranda versus Lucian Bute. This 2010 face-off in Lucian Bute's adopted hometown of Montreal experienced how clowning your opponent even after getting beaten up never ends up good for anyone. Edison Miranda had already lost the first 2 rounds. By the visuals, we can see that he was already pretty much hurt by a couple of shots to the head. But an injured Miranda had a different strategy to distract his almost won opponent. He thought that it was a good idea to clown Lucian Bute during the 3rd round as a way of sledging. Edison Miranda started instigating and taunting Bute, all in an effort to show the audience that he was indeed not hurt. But it seems the instigation worked fine on his opponent as he landed one of the ugliest hard left uppercuts right to his chin. That was enough to send Miranda down to the canvas. The hurt Colombian fighter was able to stand on his 2 feet, but the referee had to stop the fight as he was extremely unsteady. In this way, Lucian Bute was able to defend his 5th title with the help of a vicious left uppercut, while Edison Miranda got a taste of his own medicine. What do you think? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to turn on the tiny notification bell to always find us in your home feed. Robbie Peden versus Nate Campbell. Although these two have fought several memorable matches during their first face-off in 2004, Peden proved Campbell was the boss. This match was fought at the Pechanga Beach Resort and Casino in an event for the IBF Super Featherweight title. The two indulged in an extremely close competition that lasted up to 5 rounds. Campbell pretty much dominated the latter half of the fight and stunned Peden with his infamous body shot. While Campbell thought that he was on his way to end the fight, he decided to play with a unique strategy. Campbell wanted to show Peden that he didn't have any more punches left in the tank and let his guard down. Maybe Campbell was deciding to strike a punch out of the blue and end the match for good, but his strategy fell flat against himself. Peden took advantage of the situation and unloaded a perfect left hook, which was enough to send the arrogant Campbell to the canvas. The left hook shot was directed towards the point of the chin, which was more like a 3/4 uppercut. Campbell's defeat was a slap on his arrogant body language, and the Australian superstar Peden quickly became the talk of the town as he humbled his opponent quite humorously. Sam Maxwell versus Sabri Sediri. Often regarded as one of the best comebacks of the sport, Sam Maxwell had every reason to celebrate after he thrashed down Sabri Sediri in an almost lost match. Maxwell had been dropped twice in the bout and was already way behind on the scorecards until he decided to change his fate. The 30-year-old super lightweight champ did not lose hope, even after being dropped twice at the Morningside Arena in Leicester. The clock was ticking, and it was already the 10th round. Sabri Sediri started a little early celebration of his win. Sediri taunted Maxwell by doing a little dance right inside the ring. We believe that Sledge worked against Sediri as Maxwell was more charged than ever to not give up. He ended up landing his best shot of the night with just 15 seconds left. The Frenchman Sediri was sent back to the canvas after receiving a devastating right hand from the Commonwealth Games bronze medalist. Sam Maxwell could not help but cry in delight after humbling his cocky opponent. With this win, Maxwell kept his unbeaten record intact and went on to win the WBO European Super Lightweight title.